With AI coming in, suddenly there is another shift of thought process. Today, everybody is a designer, everybody is a content writer, right? And that first level technology experiments, people are more willing to do that.
All right, welcome to Cal Computer in the field. So I'm Andre, and today we have a very special episode on how organizations in the Philippines can successfully navigate digital transformation through upskilling and citizen development. Of course, digital transformation isn't just about adopting new technologies, it's about empowering people with the right skills to drive innovation. One exciting trend making this possible is citizen development, where non technical professionals can create business solutions using no code and low code platforms. And of course, to help us unpack this, we are honored to have Rakesh Nandakumar, the Associate Vice President for Southeast Asia at Kissflow, a global leader in no code and low code work management solution. Rakesh, welcome to Ka Computer.
The pleasure is all mine, Andre.
All right, can you tell us a little bit more about Kissflow and how it's helping businesses in their digital transformation?
Of course. Kissflow is a AI powered no code. Is it? Kissflow is a AI powered no code low code platform that aims in bringing business and IT closer to turbocharge their digital transformation journey as such. Right? We have helped many large enterprises formulate, strategize, and execute their digital transformation journey the last 20 odd years. So,
All right, so I guess let's start first with digital transformation. So, in terms of digital transformation, what do you see is the biggest challenge today when it comes to organizations, adopting it to doing digital transformation in their organizations?
it's a very interesting question, right? Everybody wants to do digital transformation, but there are three challenges in front of them. The one which is pretty obvious is there is a talent gap. There are about few millions of applications to be built, and we don't have those many developers to do it, to just begin with, in terms of the gap. The second challenge is the velocity with which they want to solve the problem, because if you go 5-6 years back, what are the plans they had for 2030 and 2035 is now becoming 2026 and 2027 plans, right? Accelerations happening. We have COVID, AI. Everybody wants to move to the next paradigm as such. That's the second challenge, which the pressure of now is there. The third is the relevancy from the market as well. Business are putting enormous stress because their audience are becoming digital, and it's incredibly hard on IT to solve all these challenges at the moment in digital transformation.
Yeah. All right, so how about here in the Philippines? What do you think are the industries that would definitely, be needing digital transformation to become successful?
Not just become successful, but to continue to be successful as well. If you look at Philippines as a whole, every sector at the moment wants to really start adopting technology to increase their efficiency, to do better business as a whole, right? Specifically, if you ask me, then banking and energy are really going all about it. The banking today is challenged by tech companies who are saying we are fintech, and rather than saying, so every financial organization is going all guns blazing in digital transformation. Energy is another sector which really is picking up quite a bit in terms of digital transformation.
How about government?
At least in the Philippines, we haven't really went in deep with the government side as such, so may not be the right guy to fully say that. But we are hearing wins that how do we take digitization to the next step. There are talks everywhere about it. Haven't seen it yet tangible personally myself, I may be missing a few as well.
Yeah.
Hoping to hear those news quickly.
Yeah. Basically, almost industry, right? If it's not in your roadmap, it would be hard, right?
Yes, because there's no way, right? Because there's a challenge in terms of digital transformation is whatever happened during COVID, people thought it's going to be resetting, but it didn't.
Yeah.
It's become the norm now. Number of people who worked remote before and after has considerably changed, right? How do you service these employees now? And the newer generation of folks who are going to come in, how do you service them without doing these digital transformations? It's becoming incredibly difficult for organizations. If they don't adopt and don't do digital transformation, it's going to be a mess.
Yeah. All right, let's now proceed to, given that there's digital transformation, there's also a pressure in, employees upskilling and becoming, a citizen development. What do you see is a major challenge in digital transformation, that employees need to adapt to? Like, what do they need to learn? What do they have to, upskill at least?
I think first and foremost, there should be a cultural change in terms of the thought process itself. Because often organizations feel that digital transformation is an IT function which has to be owned and executed by IT as a whole. There's not many hands there.
Yeah.
They don't have unlimited resources, right? Even if the IT is now thinking, hey, I'm not going to write custom codes, I'm going to do low code and so on, it has to now go to a mindset where what if every employee of mine is a problem solver than a problem giver? On and only if you go to that mindset, you can really solve the kind of gap which is prevailing in the market at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. So when it comes to to that, right? What is the term citizen development? Because I've heard about it, and it's because usually coming from us tech developers, we're like accustomed that everything needs to be done by IT, which shouldn't be the case when you're in your a business that's trying to really grow. So where this citizen development come into play in growing an enterprise?
I will tell you what citizen development is not before I tell you what citizen development is. If organization feel, hey, I give them a bunch of tool to business and ask them to do it themselves, that is not citizen development. Because regardless you give them any tool or not, business will find some way to make their job much less painful as such. And that is called shadow IT and not citizen development. Citizen development happens when business builds automations or solutions for their problem in a way the organization wants it, in a tool the organization wants it, and the automations which the organization wanted, i.e. it has to be synergical to what the organization wants the team to solve, and the team solves it in a way the organization wants it, right? So citizen development is a complete long-term strategy from a top management as such. It's never ground up. Right? People always think it's bottom up, so it's not bottom up, it's top down.
Yeah. So you said that it's more of holistic, right? So how does enterprise, because change management is so hard, how do you empower your employees to start becoming a citizen developer?
Actually, there's two ways to look at it, right? I think first you need to bust the myth about change management and change requests as a whole, right? As I said before, citizen development is not a technology change, it's a cultural change. People today think IT is the transaction between IT and business is like a customer and somebody purchasing from them, right? You do this, they say look at it as a service team in many ways. That has to change to a question of, hey, I think I can solve it, can you help me? Only if the equation changes that way, citizen development will pick in any organization as such. For this to happen, you need to address three pillars: technology, obviously, people, process. If these three pillars are firm, then the cultural shift of citizen development will happen. Only then it will happen. Otherwise, it will not be a citizen development.
Yeah. So it's like a really like a mindset change.
It's a total 360-degree shift of
Yeah.
thought process,
Mm.
right? And it is a long-term initiative as such. It's like how you being honest. It's a very similar feeling.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen overnight. You need to build it and maintain it and sustain it for a long time.
Yeah.
Kissflow's AI-powered low-code platform for IT and no-code platform for business leaders enables users build custom apps, automate workflows, and enhance enterprise efficiency. Try it today.
All right. So as let's say I'm an enterprise and then I wanted to get started with this. How does Kissflow come into play?
Okay. I think before that you need to know where would citizen development actually come into play, right? It's very easy for organizations to say, you know what, we will do citizen development. But that's not the way it works. You really need to first understand, okay, here are my backlogs, right? Of which the top 20% always IT will solve it,
Yeah.
because that's going to be the OKR of the organization. The remaining 80% of the backlog is there. How much of this backlog would actually be solved by business? Sometimes the next 20% is not business problem. It should have been IT problem. Scaling the IT would have actually given the solution and not going through the citizen development route. So what you should typically do is something called upzoning, where you will study the backlog and tell, hey, this percentage of this backlog is full CD, this percentage is assisted CD in the sense citizen development,
Yeah.
and this percentage is going to be restricted CD, and this percentage is no CD. If the full CD and assisted CD has good enough volume of ROI coming in, then they will go for a citizen development motion as well. This is the first study of what to do, right? Without you figuring out this piece and you say I will do citizen development, the second challenge is you need to have a very good partner, a partner who can not just give you technology but also deep understanding of the space of citizen development as such. So one of the things which Kissflow does very, very well is that we understand the subject of citizen development deep. We have done this for multiple organizations, Southeast Asia, Europe, US, and so on, where we categorically understand that no two citizen development models are the same. So how do you create your own signature? So that needs consultative partners as well,
Yeah.
to work along with them and complement them in terms of the process pillar as such.
Yeah. So this is where Kissflow comes into play, right?
Kissflow does both. So of the three pillar, we provide the technology,
Yeah.
we help you build the process. We can only recommend on the people front though. That is something the leadership of not just the organization but every facet of business has to step in and do.
Yeah. All right. So, given that, right? Can you, given that you've had the partnership with, what's that? Yeah, you had the partners here, in the Philippines. How are they, adapting currently to, you know, transforming their organizations into, you know,
The adoption in Southeast Asia as a whole is pretty big, especially in Philippines and Thailand, where unfortunately we missed the last wave of technology changes. Like for example, if you go to any Western countries, they would have some sort of a second tier systems for many of these processes, which this part of the world we missed the wave. And with the AI wave coming in, the citizen development as a notion was been picking wind for the last 5 to 10 years. With AI coming in, suddenly there is another shift of thought process. Today everybody is a designer, everybody is a content writer, right? And that first level technology experiments, people are more willing to do that, right? And this is going to spark another wave of changes in terms of CD adoption as such. We already have a good 20-25 customers across Southeast Asia who have done this large scale citizen development, right? And globally it would just run bigger number. But that's the scale with which today the adoption is. They want to really pick it up, go deep into this.
Alright. So yeah, so for example, I'm an enterprise and wanted to get started. How's that gonna be like?
So typically we need to do three things if you're an enterprise and you're looking to start CD program. One, you should first calculate, as I said, look at the backlog and see what is your digitization rate as such. There's a difference between digitization, digitalization and digital transformation as such, right? So in a sense there are subsets, so just compounds. So you need to look at where you stand as an organization, where you ideally want to be, right? Because a lot of the organization are even stuck in the very first step of digitization itself. There are still email chains and papers and Excel stuck, right? And how badly is going to hurt you from a opportunity loss per se as such. I think that's the first call you need to make. The second call is that you need to now create your own philosophy of your center of excellence as such, because CADP is a program. If you're trying to do citizen development, you need to do a 5-year program as such, minimum, to think about it, because it's a long-term strategic initiatives. So second part is that to work along with a partner like Kissflow, to dig in deep, formalize, build your signature COE as such for citizen development. The third step is to go and do a test pilot. You bring in a bunch of business users, put them into a workshop, ask them to go through this exercise of whether they're able to pick it up and build it. Because the challenge with citizen developers is they would have never did any digital project in their life. How do they take a business project and translate into a digital solution? That experience is unique. So we do these specialized workshops as well. So typically when we engage enterprise, we do these three things. We talk about philosophy to leadership, get that sorted. We talk about how to run and how to set up a COE to the COE team, which is going to own and govern this CDAP as such. This typically is with part of IT or digital transformation or business transformation team. Then we talk, when we bring in a pilot group of business users, do a workshop for end user citizen development and see if they can take a couple of processes live, which we have always been successful. And once you tick these three, you know, okay, we are in the right place, we want to do it in this way, we have clarity on that and what we want to achieve as goal, and yes, we have the confidence that yes, my business can do it as well, right? Once you tick these three boxes, it's pretty straightforward from there, I guess.
Alright, so yeah, that's been very insightful. So probably before we wrap up, I guess just some last piece of advice that you can share, to organizations or to, leaders that are probably still afraid of, putting, digital transformation in their vision or their horizon.
I think the biggest challenge the leader should now see is that the foresight that in the next 5 to 10 years, your workforce is going to tremendously change. People are going to come in with the notion of, like some of the generation today are born mobile users. The next generation is going to be born enterprise application users, like world-class application users, like Instagram, YouTube. All of them are very, very well-developed applications, right? They're not going to sit on papers. And they're not going to work on old, tacky, box solutions as well. And the biggest difference between them is that they just don't want solution. They want to be part of the solution themselves. They want to solve it together. How do you give them that inclusiveness? How do you make them feel involved in solving these problems? You got to go to citizen development. Otherwise, it'll be the biggest missed opportunity for them in the next decade or so. The seeding has to happen now.
All right. So yeah, I guess if how are they gonna reach you in case they wanted to learn more about Kissflow?
Of course, they can reach to our website, kissflow.com. They can drop an inquiry. We do have a team here as well. They can reach to them, or at least to us in LinkedIn. Anyway, citizen development is a very, in a sense, a very close topic to us. That's something which we have advocated for the last 20 years, and we can definitely help. Just to set the context is, Kissflow can do both low code as well as citizen development. So it's one platform for an entire organization to fuel their digital transformation need, not just one.